So just a little bit of background about Dr. Char. He is a dentist. He has a doctorate of holistic medicine. He's also a licensed massage therapist, and he also has a PhD in natural sciences. Dr. Char has been a holistic practitioner for over 54 years. He is the director and founder of the Dr. John Char Holistic Wellness Center, located in Aiea, Hawaii. And he is also the host of the Dr. John Char Holistic Health Show on Olelo TV.
We're going to be talking about a very special issue that's dear to my heart. We're going to go and give back to the community and teach them, whoever wants to be taught, about holistic medicine and dentistry. Give you alternatives, give you a holistic approach to how to treat yourself without drugs. Some, maybe 7% need surgery, but we're going to do that. So the first show I talked about last month, I talked about the basics. I told you about what the curriculum was, what the tutorial was, and some of my background. I'm a holistic dentist. I'm also a homeopathic physician, doctor of natural science, and a certified licensed massage therapist. So I've been teaching the last 3 years online on these to the professionals, these holistic principles and wellness therapy, and using modern technology with energetic devices and biofeedback equipment. So all these apply to every different specialty. You can pick and choose. That's the beautiful part about it. When you take my course, you can say, okay, I'm just interested in physical injuries, abuse, pain, and posture. Or because I'm a physical therapist or I'm a massage therapist. Okay, and then later on you might say, oh gosh, I need to know about the emotional component of it. Or now you see a relationship with the teeth. I got to know something about the holistic approach to the teeth. You want to learn that. So I got it all. I got a spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical components. So you're going to learn all that. And I'll give you the slides that I got paid for online. Now I'm going to give it to you free, and the narrations, so you get a chance to study it. So when we have classes, you come to the class, and then we have an exam, and then we go into techniques, clinical techniques. So you know how to bridge the knowledge that you have to the biofeedback or bioenergetic devices with your knowledge, and then you'll be able to correlate those two and be doing a good assessment on yourself or your family or your friends. Or if you work for a practitioner, then you can add in another part of the service to that particular, maybe chiropractor or physical therapist or neurologist, or anything. Depends on who that professional wants. If he wants to learn more about the alternative and holistic approach, you can add it to his practice. See, you got to get options. If you do traditional medicine and you give him drugs and everything, and you're getting side effects, and it's not working, of all these years, you're getting all these problems. Why don't you take another look at another option that may able to help you get your health back together, a more fruitful life rather than always in pain or depression or whatever. So malice. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to show you in brief. We're going to show that holistic approach to wellness technology and give you sort of an idea what it encompasses. And then first thing you're going to ask, how much does it cost? It might cost you a dinner for the tuition. And if you say you don't want to get bioenergetic devices, you can work into it, or you can just take the course for knowledge, okay, getting more knowledge. But you won't be able to practice that with any kind of technology, because this is an age of technology mixed with traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and traditional medicine under one system. So we're going to show you that. What's in the biofeedback equipment? What's a tutorial linked with it? We talk about eminence. That's a spiritual. All the scripture, healing scriptures are there. Emotions. We talk about all types of emotions, physical, whether it's physical, emotional, environmental, or chemical emotions. Any kind of emotion you're talking about encompasses it all. Physical injuries and Or you might be at sports, maybe you had concussion, or you had sports injury. Now you're suffering from it after years of retirement. Then how do you deal with that, with the emotions? And we're talking about immune system. That's a big area. Anti-aging. How do you slow down anti-aging? Talk about nutrition foods. Wow, we scanned. Took us 3 months to scan a health food store for everything in there. Spices, you name them. Vegetables, meat. And then we get the energy. We'll show you how to use that scan to be some foods are compatible to you or not. Personal care and household maintenance. We're talking about pesticides, any kind of sprays you use. Is that allergic to you? Scan that. Dental teeth toxicity. Talk about root canals, impacted wisdom teeth. You're talking about surgery. So all these different things that you should know. Toxic metals. CT12. We're talking about the tapping technique. Emotional freedom technique was the basis, and then we advanced that because we found out some of the points didn't match up with the traditional Chinese points, master points. And we're talking about 7 chakras, all the ramifications, all the links, all the relationships of the chakras. Nobody has that. Did 30 years of research on that. And auricular therapy, how to treat the ears without needles. And that's a way of treatment. So who does it apply to? It applies to every conceivable specialty. Become chiropractors, physical therapy, massage therapists, neurologists, osteopaths, psychiatrists, massage therapists, ear, nose, and throat. You're talking about energy therapists, holistic dentists. You're talking about a lot of people that this can apply to. Might not be the main focus of them, but you can, if the person wants to add in, maybe you try a drug and the thing wasn't working and causes side effects, and you say, where do we go from here? Then you say, well, maybe we look at some kind of alternative or holistic type. And you might look at some supplements, you might look at herbs. So we're going to have all that. So it doesn't have to be just traditional. If you want to be traditional, it's fine, because I can understand that because insurance don't cover this. But you might consider the patient, and if the patient say, okay, I want it at all costs. I don't want to deal with this pain anymore. I don't want to deal with this pressure anymore for the side effects. You might say, okay, try this supplement, give them about 30 days, 60 days, and see where you go. Take a baseline figure of evaluation and 30 days later, see if they improve. See? That's how you do things like that, without side effects. So we're going to show you the next thing about the tutorials, because everything linked into the biofeedback technology with tutorials. These are the tutorials we have, and this is just a synopsis of it, a summary, because we got about 10 different items, but you look on the right, you can see, if you can see the numbers there, it says how many 2-hour sessions each. So it's 7, that's 14 hours, say, on the, just on the Immanence, okay? Immanence means the spiritual, the high components. We got about a big collection of healing scriptures from the Bible. And then the biofeedback equipment will show you how to work it. So it comes up with different scriptures you should read. Like you go to church, they give you a little card and they tell you what scriptures to read every day. So this is kind of applies to you, but we're using the brain, the feedback from the brain, and all these neurological circuits, acupuncture meridians, acupuncture points, and all these different energy that comes in, and which gives you an indication. It's not a diagnosis. You can't do this in diagnosis. This is assessment, just to give you indications, and you follow up from there. So we're going to teach you basically also Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and traditional medicine all blended into one. So you can look at the eyes, you can look at the fingernails, you can look at the tongue, the face, the body, and get an idea about this person's health condition. And then you follow up with some kind of therapy. Could be supplements, could be exercise, it could be nutrition, and all going to be in that package. And then you say, oh, this is what I need to do. Now you got a plan. You got a plan. And then you see if those symptoms that you see visibly start to disappear. and you know that you got it. Like you got a fungus on your fingernail, it's black and it's peeling off, and it's shredding. So what happens is, after you take the assessment and you do this, and then maybe days later, you see a new fingernail start coming up, start changing. So you say, wow, there's something happening, and you feel better. You're not chronic fatigue. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to show you, and we're going to teach you that. So we got a lot of hours to teach you, because I did it for 3 years, online webinars. Some took about 14 hours. Every week we had 2 hours. We go to the next one, and we teach you that, and we show you now. This is the rest of it. We got more to show you. Nutrition, food, dental toxicity, dental teeth, energetic, auricular therapy is the ear. Holistic self-diagnosis is again the nails, the tongue, the face, the eyes, the lips, how the face is structured and everything. We're going to show you all that, how the person even smiles. We're going to show you that. So we're going to show you an example of how this works. We're going to start off with the physical component slide, and then we're going to show you, just to give you an idea how this, the flow, how we're going to be teaching that. So you get a basic idea. So you're going to teach you the first step, so you can recognize the second step, and you go on to the third step, and finally the suggested therapy. And you use the therapy, and you go back to the first step again, and see if those symptoms we call assessment are clearing up. That's what you do. That's how medicine is works, but you're doing it naturally. We're going to show you a slide on the different approach on the physical component. Now, this is a physical injury. You see the physical injury? It's very sharp. You see it on the right. So we start on the left, and you see now, here's self-diagnosis. Look at the nails, tongue, face, body. That's just a start. And that's an option you can learn. Then the screen will show you the injuries and spinal energy. And then you go to the physical component, and you can see the posture pain and the different vertebrae subluxation, and you keep going. And because when you press on one title, it opens up to a whole range of subtitles, and you can check the frequency from the upper body pain, lower body pain. When you talk about upper body pain, everything from the hip all the way to the head, lower body from the hip all the way down to the feet. So we take that, and you're going to see every ligament, cartilage, tendon, joints. You're talking about muscle, nerve. We're going to see if we can come up with some kind of indication that you had that. Might not be in the present, might be in the past. Okay, maybe 30 years ago. That's regression. If you're going back 30 years and you say, oh, yeah, I had a bad injury there, and I think I got physical therapy and it's okay now. But how come you still feel the pain and occasionally coming back? Or when you dream, you dream about the incident you had the injury, and you still got it in your head. In your head, then we go to an emotional section, and we say, well, let's clear it up. But you're not going to get rid of it. You're going to neutralize that energy, like homeopathy. You take one part and you balance it up with another, so it balances up and neutralizes it. It's what you're doing. So you're not really getting rid of anything. You're neutralizing. So it won't be a dominant feature in the symptoms that you come up. So the next one we're going to show you basically is that I show you the injury part. Now let's show you the immune part. And here, this is a big one now. It goes down to 37, and it covers everything: fungus, bacteria, virus, acid refluxes, cardiovascular problems, vaccinations, skin, and it covers going on and on to the liver, drugs, talking about some pesticides, sleeping deprivation, drooping eyelids, dark bags, and you give you alternatives in supplements, you see, instead of drugs. And if you're trying drugs and it don't work, or you got side effects, maybe you got to take a look at another alternative. So that's a big one. That means you're covering the whole body. This immune senescence means that aging. and it's anti-aging. So as you get older, past 65, you start to lose some of the immune cells, AMPK, you're losing NAD, all these different things the body is not producing enough. That's why you get sick. You're subject to flus, you're subject to shingles, all these different things. So 1 of 3 Americans now, after 65, are getting shingles. We take a look at that. It doesn't harm. Take a look at that and see what you can do with that before you get it. This is prevention, not after you get it or you got to suffer. Like me, I had it 2 years ago. Look, I didn't realize I was going to get it. And right after that, I got a stroke. And then I was handicapped. I was paralyzed. I couldn't even swallow, couldn't sing, couldn't talk. And I'm back on my feet again because I treated myself. After all the rehab and everything, and it was helpful, but I would say I improved about 25%, and then I switched over what I taught my patients. I started doing myself, and within 6-7 months, I was on my feet. I was talking, but not good, but I was talking, and I started to go back to singing again. I was singing the Sounds of Aloha, a cappella choirs, and now I can sing like the rest of the guys. So all these things we can teach you because I experienced a lot of the things. We can teach you all those, and then you got to be, the only thing, criteria is you got to be a good student. You got to study. That's why we have 10-question exam before you come in. You're going to see if you studied, okay? And you have any questions on the homework, that's where we clear things up. We go ahead and work on each other for the clinical process. Teach you our techniques in Chinese medicine, in Ayurvedic, in all the different kind of energy mixed with modern technology, biofeedback equipment, neurofeedback equipment. Teach you all those things. And dentistry. You're going to see how dentistry is related. So we talk about nutrition. I took about 3 months to scan all this in a health food store. It took me, how many things we scanned. So those are the lists right now. You got about 44 different categories, but in those categories, you got a lot of subcategories. So you can go to hundreds of different types of food. You might say, oh, I might not go to, I like only organic food. But then sometimes you want to eat something and it's not organic, but you got to read the labels and see if it's compatible. Look at your sugar content and glycogen content in there. You got to look at the fat content in there, any kind of additives, and then you decide you want to try that. But that's not organic. Then you can scan that and say, is this compatible to me? If it is, you make a menu. Recipe. And then you can see, I don't have this item. Could you substitute it with another one that's biologically compatible to you? Then you make your menus. Then you make your menus every day. We teach you how to do that. How to prepare. Go to a shop on maybe Saturday, spend 2 hours, 3 hours cooking for a couple weeks, vacuum pack it, and then if you're busy coming home from work, don't have time, you change your clothes, what you do is steam the bag, and then you got your meal, and you go enjoy it, and you have less dishes to do, and then you can watch TV at the same time. So you can enjoy yourself. That's just an option. We're going to show you some of that, shortcuts that will be done. The energy part, we teach you techniques called a CET12. It used to be CET 1 plus 9, we call it 12, because that's from emotional freedom technique. We took some of the points there, took some of the concepts there, and developed it further into an advanced thing with master Chinese points. And we did it on emotions, we did it on injury and pain, we did all these. And I say it works. But you got to believe in that. So you got to get your mind to train to believe in some of the concepts that we teach you. And you have to do is understand the concepts so the right brain understands it and goes to the front lobe in the brain. And then pretty soon you do it over again, and pretty soon it becomes natural to you and you start working. I've seen it happen many times in my practice with my patients. Now we're going to teach you how to do it. It's very simple. And then you teach the patient how to do it. So to give the responsibility back to the patient for his own health, depending on you. So what do you do with this idea, the concept of training? you can get a biofeedback certification, and you'll be able to practice some of these.
That has been well known in Western medicine for a long time. But the idea that the physical body responds to a certain signal is relatively new to Western medicine, but is the basis of Chinese and Oriental medicine. In fact, the nature of the signals in an energetic body actually determines the health of the physical body. The tools for energetic health must be necessary, be energetic in nature. They must positively influence the chi energy in the body, creating the right energetic information and power in the human energetic field. That means that the well-being not only depends on the food that is eaten, the vitamins that are taken, exercise that is done, but also depends on the proper flow of energy in the meridians and on the proper functioning of the system of chakras. We must feed all four of the energy levels: the spiritual, emotional, mind, and body. And then we do it through a combination of traditional, Chinese, and Ayurvedic type of medicine, all integrated into one system. We're going to introduce you to the holistic approach to health. As you can see on the diagram, you can see 7 different chakra levels related to different characteristics of each chakra related to different parts of the body. You also represent different acupuncture meridians in Chinese, Ayurvedic medicine, as well as different energy neural pathways in traditional medicine, all leading to the brain and back to the side of the body. There are 7 major chakras. There's the crown chakra, upper mental chakra, lower mental chakra, the heart astral chakra, the navel, solar plexus, the sacrum, which is etheric, and the basis, which is physical. Now, all of these energy starts here in the crown. It starts from the kundalini, which is on the base, goes up to the crown and back. And it goes down to the crown to the etheric double, as you can see here, circle. And it mirrors all the energy pathways that from the crown chakra down to the etheric double. It mirrors it. And then it duplicates it into a physical manifestation in the physical level. And this is called the etheric double, where it actually mirrors, as you can see in between. And that's why the body is electromagnetic. Okay, now, I'm going to tell you why I did the revamping of the Life Insights. Yeah. Because I wanted to uncover the cause. I wanted to uncover the cause. Okay. And I couldn't uncover the cause because there were so many different symptoms and signs. And you think, well, the sign could be what you feel, or you get pain, or you got an injury or anything. But no, it's what you think too, what you feel, your environment, everything contributes to that. If you study that, you got radiation, you got all kind of environment, pollution, pesticides, everything. And that, what you feel, what you smell, what you everything, the 5 senses, you gather that and it goes into the midbrain, thalamus and amygdala, and then it transfers to the prefrontal into the left brain, the conscious awareness, and do a right brain becomes a habit or behavior habit. And that's what you don't want. But it does happen. And it happens every day, every minute you feel something. All that collect, and you say, well, I can handle that.
Well, you got a lot of different emotions coming up because they say 85% of the problem is usually emotional. And if you're going to talk your way through it, how many times you're going to psychology, you talk your way, they tell you, well, tell me what you feel. And you feel that, you cry and everything. You just put another layer into that layer and becomes like an umbrella. And all those different frequencies mix together. And some of them, like the cell talk to another cell through neuropeptides. And what happens, they talk and communicate. And you can really recognize that. You think, well, I got all the ones that's known, but there's many unknown. And can collect thousands of the thought processes and everything. That is frequencies. You're talking about frequencies. The body is made of cell frequencies. And that's why I got into homeopathy, because we talk about frequency, how to neutralize the frequency through Samuel Hahnemann. He found that out over 125 years ago. How do we translate all those information and be able to recognize it to the neurotransmitters, the autonomic nervous system, and everything? So we got to understand all the different sciences, physiology, neurology, and all that. Well, you know, it will take you years like I did to study the traditional. Then there's an energetic component to it. So how do you mix it all together? So when you buy equipment that I must have spent about $200,000 in my lifetime just on buying equipment, all kind of equipment. And it becomes what we call white elephant sitting back in my garage. Because there was something missing. When I got all this information, I studied it, I found out the chakra was the only one that I knew that had a system that covers the whole body. And he placed it in sections of the body with frequencies, which match the energetic component, the nutrition, everything. And I put them in the specific place. So if you give you a group of things and say, here it is, scan that, and you go and scan it, and you say, what's that related to? Is it related to the head? Or you related to the lower body? Or what? Or vertebrae? Or what? So I had to gather all that information for every specialty and put the relationships together, all that, and then put it into a particular chakra. And I'm going to show you an example of the physical chakra later. And that's one of the chakras. There's 7, you know. And how that the physical relates to the crown chakra or the upper mental chakra, which gives you the signal to that you got pain or you got remembrance of that. Maybe 3 years later, you get another pain of similar things that you had. Maybe you injured your hand, and then 3 years later, you think you got it treated, and then you start feeling the dull ache and pain. That's chronic. So how do you treat it? Your traditional medicine is fantastic for injuries, for acute inflammation, and for long range. You're talking about long range. That's chronic. So that has to do with accumulation of thousands of frequencies that are malaligned, and it's chronic inflammation, degeneration. So we try to build your immune system up. There's no definition for immune system right now. And then you try to go ahead and say, I don't understand that. Dementia, I don't understand that. We're going to stick it into autoimmune disorder. That's a place you could put it in traditionally. But how do you go and reverse the progress of that to the degenerative stage of disease? How do you find that and reverse that back to as close as normal again? And you see, it has to do with frequency, balancing frequencies, and all about that. So we're going to show you when I talked about the cloud of symptoms and what happens hovering over the cause. And if we track away at the clouds, over layers of different clouds in your body, in your mind, body and mind, that you peck away at it and you thin it out and neutralize that frequency that are malaligned, then what happens is eventually you will see the last cloud, and hopefully you can see a ray of light going And now you see the cause. Now you can go ahead and treat the cause for long-term effect, long-term healing. So I'm going to show you cause. I'm uncovering the cause.
Once the body accepts the different antigens and it gets into the immune system wall, it becomes an autoimmune disorders. And you have body dysfunctions. And you have all different types of the disorders. Could be early dementia, could be allergies, could be all kind of different factors. And then you can get eventually a disease state at the end. And how do you take care of this? Because you haven't really, it masks the cause. You haven't really got to the cause. Well, we use holistic modalities and bioenergy, life insights, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physically. Once the body accepts a different energy and it gets into the immune system wall, it becomes an autoimmune disorders. And you have body dysfunctions. And you have all different types of the disorders. Could be early dementia, could be allergies, could be all kind of different factors. And then you can get eventually a disease state at the end. And how do you take care of this? Because you haven't really, it masks the cause. You haven't really got to the cause. Well, we use holistic modalities and bioenergy, life insights, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physically. So if you want to go ahead and treat patients like this, and first of all, we call it an assessment. I call it an assessment. It sort of guides you along. It's not really super specific because it's very general, but it gives you a clue, and you follow the clue. As you scan more, you're going to find out it gets closer and closer to the exact one that you need. The assessment is just like evaluating what symptoms and signs they have that are distorted frequencies. And the balances are used for balancing or neutralizing those distorted frequencies. Assessments of the astral level, radionic rates, bioterrain potentials, underlying causes, noxic afflictions through organs and systemics, structurally function tendencies, meridians, autonomic nervous system, astral characteristics, lab tests, negative qualities, entities, emotional issues, tooth disorders, pain, miasms. We are looking at the balancers of the subcategories, the astral level, affirmation, apex remedies, by signatures, gemstones, essential oil, meridian relationships, healed remedies, mantras, different therapies, holistic therapies, healing with nature, homeopathic remedies, life extension remedies, the mudras, nutritional foods, reflexology, premier remedies, therapy devices, sound therapy, standard process remedies, natural remedies, scalar waves, effects of the chakras, world nutrition remedies, yoga poses, chakra elements, visualization. The example of the astral chakra was given. Each chakra has its own characteristics. In the balancers neutralize the distorted frequencies of the assessments. I'm going to show you the devices. I use it every day because I don't want to use electrodes. I tried all the different biofeedback equipment, and I put all kind of electrodes on, which is, I found I didn't catch all the different parts of the body. So I found that it's an advanced photon analyzer. You can sit down on the mattress, 144 magnets, and it can neutralize a lot of the. So we don't have to put electrodes on. We can connect it to the Life Insight biofeedback equipment, goes to the advanced photon analyzer, and it connects to a mattress down here, which has about 144 magnets, and it energizes all the meridians, so we don't need electrodes to put on. I use the Life Insight biofeedback equipment. You see the arrow there. And then I use also a 27-inch screen so the patient can view what I see on my iPad, Life Insights. And from there, the patient can see that what they missed on a medical dental history, maybe they had it 30 years ago, they had an injury, and they're still feeling some of the effects even though they were treated. They can recognize it, and he says, oh, he brought it up that I had something 30 years ago. And we have to go deeper into the body to find out, to balance it. And then the patient has some headsets on where they can hear the frequencies from the Life Insights. And you can see that the arrows pointing to the mattress that is sitting on the light. You can actually duplicate your remedies or supplements on the in well to the out well. You can do broadcasting with it. You have Schumann resonance, like I said before, the miasm, the long-term care treatment. You can do plants and animals. You can neutralize that just like radionics. You can balancing, damaging, disturbing fields. This is the version you need for the Life Insights. It's 16.5.7, and maybe now it's upgraded to more, but you need that as a basis. These are all the major categories, and under them, inside them, there's just hundreds of subcategories. And the 7C energy levels go deeper into the body, where they will bring up the miasms, and this is one of the chakras. And this is the immune system anti-aging. I must have about 40 different subcategories for the cardiovascular, stroke, and you name them, liver, bladder, kidney, what, and so on. And each one has its subcategories, and it will go ahead and give you an idea of what the relationship of a particular subcategory is. So like to give you the liver, and the liver is the gallbladder, and what is the Chinese version 5 element it's related to? What is it related to the Ayurvedic? What is it related to the spiritual area? What is it related to the physical area? And all that you see in that. So in the main category. So I'm going to show you a quick example. And the next one here is the symptom and signs. So here's the main category I just showed you, the 7CE level. And it showed you, okay, the upper mental, all these categories with the subcategories under them. The upper mental, balancers, assessment, mental illness, mind, emotional abuse, mental stress, cognitive mind disorder assessments, and autonomic nervous system, and autonomic nervous system balancers. And that's not all. You're going to find some other ones in the immune system anti-aging. So all these will be collectively, when you scan them, together. So you don't have to think, okay, what do I do now? Where do I go? Where do I find the relationship? I got to scan that separately. No, you can scan everything together in one segmented scan. And then you say, what is the thing related to? What is the titles of this related to? These main categories, subcategories. They're related to health issues, many different health issues. But the most important thing is the relationship of one part of the body to another. How is it related to? How is the heart related to the, say, the physical body, and the physical body related to the brain, which is the upper mental, or the crown, which is spiritual. So you have all this relationship, and there is a relationship. You will find that when you scan here. And then we talk about the aura. So the first thing I do is in this Life Insight It's the only one I use in the Da Vinci screen. It's the R. You do an R before you start scanning, and then you do an R after you do everything. Now, when you're scanning for assessment, you're also doing treatment, because just like homeopathy, you're balancing the malaligned frequencies. You're doing that same. So you're not only doing an assessment, you're doing some kind of balancing, like homeopathy, balancing the malaligned frequencies. You're doing, so you're not, sometimes you might not see it physically on a microscope or by signs and symptoms. You won't see that, but there's frequency you're going to see, and there's maybe a minor one, but if you're going to go ahead and balance it out, that's one less thing that's creating a cloud over the cause. So you can pick away at all these, and then you look at the aura and see if the thing changes after you do your scan. When you finish your scan, then you can see different colors in here, and it gives you an idea of how you're doing. And then we have a worksheet. So the worksheet gives you details. I have all the chakras here with all the different subcategories in here, and then you can circle that and figure out what you're going to do in appointment after appointment. Are you going to scan the whole body, or specifically one particular disorder that you know about? But what about if you don't know about? What about the different relationships? It's what you got to know about. And here's abbreviation, so we won't get lost, right here. And then it's all here, it's all lined up. And this can be taught to you in a tutorial. Remember now, a tutorial that I will go over with you is free. And all the consultation is free. I don't charge for that. And then what happens, I'll walk you through a patient and on FaceTime, and then see if you're doing it correctly and help you along. And that's all free. Then the next thing is this here. So you're going to go ahead and schedule some strategies on which chakra you're going to do first. Which one are you going to do second? What's the date? Do you want to do appointment 1, appointment 2, appointment 3, or you want to do everything one time, the chakras? But that's going to take you hours, couple hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. But if you want to do on an hourly basis, you would take one chakra at a time appointment and just do that once you scan the whole body. And that's quickly. That doesn't take too much time when you scan what is the major chakra that you have to scan in the subcategory. Or you want to be specific. You want to pick a particular disorder, dysfunction, and then you go ahead and scan. I'm going to do this on this appointment. I'm just going to take care of the kidney, or I'm going to take care of the heart, or I'm going to take care of the large intestine, digestion. And you can schedule that like this as appointment date here, and then the pecking orders. 1, okay, second appointment, third appointment. And finally, when you finish everything, just like when you go to a doctor, he gives you a summary of what he did, what was the problem, and then you can do that and give the patient, say, you had this big problem. Shows down and putting comments here, home assignments, what you got to do. And besides the tutorials I give you for all different types of maladies that the patient is suffering from, you will also have some techniques on how you can treat them energetically, for emotions, for exercise, for everything. Not everybody going to get a resistance exercise like you were young. They might have older people take a non-resistant exercise, and you're going to put down today's visit to assess and treat it, or you train them for this and your analysis. And you're going to find out with this, if you look at this summary, what happens from appointment to appointment. Are they doing their homework? They got to take responsibility for their own health and getting healed better. If they're not doing it, then what is your choice? Do you want to continue treating them? Because they can badmouth you and say, oh no, this is like a pill. I took a pill and something happened. The body don't act like that. The body takes time to heal itself, but giving the support you give them, that you are not going to be treating them. The body treats itself by giving the right support of the immune system. So that's basically what it boils down to. Now, if you have any questions and answers, I did a very general overview, just to show you the problem
of this, the relationship with all this, and what you can do with this new revamped Life Insight. And like I said, if you compare it with any other program on the market today, this is by far the least cost of any of them and more detailed than most of them. I worked on a patient, and she didn't tell me in the medical dental history or interview that she had a problem with her eye. And then I scanned her, and it came with eye and cataract. So I asked her, and he also came out with the right eye. And then I asked her, do you have problems with the right eye? And she said, yes, I had cataract surgery, and I never recovered because something's wrong in my right eye. Another patient told me that she had problems, but that was in the chest, and she was worried about polymorphic microcalcification. And she said, well, the doctor don't know what it is in my breast, and we're taking some mammograms, and we can't find out what it is. We're going to take a biopsy. I know in my past patient that when they did a biopsy on the right side of the breast, the lump appeared on the left side after a while. I said, well, it's highly lymphatic and vascular there. And I said, well, I tell you, let's go ahead and scan you. And we scanned her, and she came up with the right eye. And I said, what's wrong with the right eye? She said, at night, I get problems with the light. And at night, the light bothers my eyes. And the right eye. I said, oh, interesting. And her husband came in with a back problem. And I scanned him. And he had, about 15 years ago, he had a sports injury and had cartilage problems on the right and left knee, and had some surgery with some pins inserted there. And also the right shoulder when he was playing football. And that came up, and he said, wow, that's really interesting because I have little dull ache and pain on both areas in my body. And I said, well, let's take care of it. And we did it. The back pain disappeared. So, there's a relationship. So you got to know the relationship because one can link to another. And the other programs that I had before, they never gave me that specific link. You gave me in general. So I had to go figure everything out. I have several dentists using this right now. And they would say, okay, I want to be interested in holistic dentistry. Tell me about that. Where do I find the relationship one tooth to another? And how does it affect the rest of the body? And so I will go into that and show you the program, and then say, if you just want to do just the dentistry and then farm it out to a naturopath or a practitioner, other health holistic practitioner, you can do that and do the dentistry part and find out way more why this person is having a problem related to the tooth, the organ that's not functioning right. I have most of the specialties in this program in relationship to other different specialties.
Yes, Dr. Char, I was wondering if you could send out a list of what is involved in your program and prices associated with the program to be involved with you.
Well, in general, the cost would be about close to a little over $6,000. But if you have the Quantum Infinity and you upgrade it with Brian Williams, you save $1,000 right there. So it's $5,000. So most of the cost is the equipment, the advanced photon analyzer that's over $2,500. Everything you have in that package, I will give you wholesale when I get it for. So you're not paying the retail price, okay? The only thing I get out of this is $995 to cover my expenses for the seminars and everything that I got to put on the air. I got to pay for that and people. So you're getting everything at rock bottom prices. Advantage of getting all my tutorials for different parts of the body, like the brain and the heart. I got all different things I made throughout for the last 4 years on the paid webinars, and you can get all that. You can give it to the patients to educate them. That's what I do in my practice. I give them that so they can be better educated on what I am doing the therapy for and why. And then also you get a free consultation and online tutorial with the patient. So all that is free. I don't charge that. Most people charge a fee for that. I won't charge you because this is like, I'm semi-retired, really retired. And I just like to share all the information I gained over the last 58 years of what I did in clinical practice and all the things I learned over the world from my masters and put it into one system. You can't do it by kinesiology. I used to do kinesiology. I still do kinesiology. But I will tell you the strategies and business strategies, how to do this. So all these things are included.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, Dr. Vinayak, we'll also reach out to you by email afterwards and give you the information you requested, okay? Thanks for your inquiry.
I appreciate that. Dr. Char, I want to acknowledge you for your extensive contribution here. And I'm really interested in your programs. So I do want to take a look at what I really want to acknowledge your expertise. I think what you put together is outstanding and top-notch on every level.
Yeah.
So
The only thing basically is I'm hampered. One thing I'm hampered is that, it would cost me over $50,000 to prepare another application. That would be really easy, easier than that. But because I don't want to put $50,000, but I'm doing this for a mission to get people well, more than money. So we have to deal with the best application we have. And what I did is revamp the whole program from the Life Infinite Insight. So you got to put up with some of the clumsiness of it. But it works. Once you know the system procedure, it goes pretty fast because you know what you're doing. That's the main thing. And I have a whole tutorial for that.
We're going to end right now. And again, thank you all for coming. We will be in touch, and we look forward to potentially working with you soon. So take care and have a great rest of your day.